Those stalwart patrons, in order of donation amount, but all winners. Welcome, Throthgar here. Let's look back at the classic Dark Souls 1 and let's listen to Throthgar's opinion on what the top 10 best bosses were. And I'm not talking about hardest bosses, I'm just talking about cool, epic, well-designed, interesting creatures and powerful warriors. Say in the comments what your 10 favorites were as we look now at Throthgar's. Number 10, Great Grey Wolf Chef. Some people think this boss should be higher on a list like this. But at the end of the day, what is it? It's a wolf with a sword in its mouth. It's not the most interesting creature ever. But because it's a fan favorite, Throthgar felt obligated to shove it in here. A confused but powerful hound. I can't remember the lore of it now, but isn't this Artorias' hound and that's his sword maybe? Well, how come it's like 50,000 times bigger than Artorias? What happened to it? Did it get contaminated with mutagen, like the Teenage Mutant Turtles, and went big? How come his swords got big too, though? It makes no sense. But it's Dark Souls and the lore makes no complete sense anyway. At number 9, the Stray Demon. Had to put this thing in here because it appears so many times in the Dark Souls world. There's the Asylum Demon, its cousin, its brother. There's a flame version of it later on in the game. And then in Dark Souls 3 it appeared about 3 or 4 fucking times. FromSoft loves this creature. We must love it too and embrace what it is, whatever it is. A deadly fight in a tiny arena also, a cunning creature with earlier effective attacks of unprecedented cheating cowardice. It takes Throthgar a few goes to beat this thing, it was well annoying. Note the epic fall through the floor excitement of it all, and the fact that you could actually miss this boss completely, and you do see it at the start of the game through a wall, which is kinda cool, kinda creepy. Possibly the general of the demon army, maybe. That's facts hidden within ancient tapestries within the lore itself. You heard it here first from Throthgar. At 8, the Sanctuary Guardian. Of course, this was the DLC, but it doesn't matter, it's still Dark Souls 1. This creature I beat first go, having never even seen it before in my life. But it was a cool designed creature in an epic battle. Looked like something out of God of War, or that irritating lion snake thing from Dragon's Dogma. Had the wings of an angel and the face of a demon, and a scorpion stinger just for good measure. A combination of hideous creatures merged to protect the sanctuary itself. Few know that it was trained and tamed by the demons to guard the sanctuary. That's hidden within the ancient tapestries of the lore too. You'll love it. At 7, Black Dragon Calamite. You have to get this fucking giant idiot with a bow to shoot it out of the sky for you. But when he does, you're in for the fight of your life. Now, this idiot with the bow was in Dark Souls 3 too, wasn't he? Maybe it was his second cousin. Throthgar couldn't beat the Black Dragon even with all his honor and power. That was probably because you don't have to, it's optional, and Throthgar couldn't take it anymore. It was pissing him right off. But even after being harpooned by a giant, this thing's pure evil. Insta-kill charge garbage. Picks you up with its psychic powers and confuses your mind. Made powerful by the black powers of chaos. One of the most deadly and cunning dragons in all of the Dark Souls universe. And take note, Skyrim, this is how a dragon should be. Ancient and powerful, not laughable. At 6, the Ceaseless Discharge. Who knows what it's a discharge of? Maybe some kind of severe diarrhea from the larva version of the Stray Demon, mutated in chaos. And even though you can cheaply beat this thing with one hit if you do it right, if you fumble, it's pure deadly. And Throthgar, his second playthrough, did exactly that. He bumbled, had to fight it the hard way, and he was a cunning champion. An interesting looking boss. You've never seen anything like it. You know what it looks like? It looks like the old Demon King from Dark Souls 2. Except as if in RoboCop, he was the one who drove into the toxic waste and then came out like a melted version. In fact, now I think about it, that's also in the lore itself. That's exactly what happened. That's also hidden within ancient tapestries that no one else can translate but Throthgar. You heard it here first. At 5, Manus, Father of the Chaos. People warned me of the terrors of this boss when I first entered the DLC, that I wasn't going to do it, that I had no chance. But Throthgar figured out ancient tactics that no one else has ever done before and beat him in a way no one else had ever seen before or could believe. But at first he pwned me quite easily. He's a distant relative of the first boss in Bloodborne 2, which was a big rip-off of him. And now I've noticed his hand looks like those fist creatures from Dark Souls 3. What the hell's that about? Are they his children? Did he have sex with a hand and out came a fist demon? Who knows? Difficult to describe this creature, just a dimension of chaos. An ancient and powerful enemy. And he thought he was the father of the chaos, but I was the chaos. At 4, the ancient double act of Smo and Ornstein, or Slob and Catface Man as I know them as personally. A golden slob and a dragon slayer coward. They have to team up together because on their own they're complete wimps. And of course when one of them gets pwned, the other one absorbs his powers. The great knight Solaire couldn't help me, but the fireballs of chaos showed them good. An overrated fight in Dark Souls really, but a powerful one, a deadly one. And of course Dragon Slayer Ornstein made an appearance in Dark Souls 2 again somehow, even though he was clearly dead here, dead for good. Once again, hidden within ancient tapestries in the law was the cunning fact that these two had a threesome with that chick with the big tits, that massive bitch. Forgot what her name was. Some say FromSoft hid that within the lore as a joke, but I happen to know it happened. I was there. A powerful tag team, powerful cowards. At 3, the hideous and creepy Gravelord Nito. A creature made up of 1,000 dead warriors and creatures. A spooky boss. If you remember the opening cutscene of Dark Souls, the CGI cutscene, he looks particularly epic there. Not a particularly interesting fight maybe, but a creepy, interesting boss creature. Your typical nerd gamer had nightmares on this boss and couldn't proceed further forward. But Hrothgar bravely entered the darkness and pwned this demon. Kind of a cooler version of the skeleton coward bosses from Dark Souls 2, which were complete crap. This is how it was meant to be done, Dark Souls 2 team. Take notes next time. At 2, the corrupted, powerful warrior Knight Artorias. Corrupted by the dimensions of chaos. Covered in toxic tar that confused his mind. A nightmare of a boss that took Hrothgar about 50 goes to beat. She can't summon anyone and nobody was playing Dark Souls at the time anymore. Took Hrothgar everything to pwn him. Maybe the most epic duel ever in Dark Souls. Especially if you're trying to be a flame-on man. Dark Souls 2 tried to emulate this boss with a million other guys with swords, but not one of them could compare to this guy's honor. None were as interesting or as powerful. If you're gonna do a generic guy with a sword, this is how you do it. Ah yes, at number 1, the Gaping Dragon. Really easy boss once you understand how to beat him, but you can't deny the epic, creepy interestingness of this boss. The signature Dark Souls boss. Everybody remembers it as something foul, something hideous. One of the biggest bosses that Dark Souls ever did. An interesting creature in an epic battle. Terrifying the first time you arrive before you realize you just poke him on his dick nose and he's easy. With that hideous giant gaping mouth in his stomach, terrified many a nerd gamer. A stupid creature that just stumbled and ambled around, but terrifying nonetheless. Now you see this list and you remember that yes, Dark Souls 1 did have all the best bosses. But we're going to look again at the top 10 best bosses of Dark Souls 2 and Demon Souls also. Tune in for that because you'll love it. Hrothgar also knows more hidden tapestry secrets of those games that nobody else knows. You can't wait to find out what that is, and you know it. Later. Fuck this game! Fuck this crap game! Not having me fall for that, back I go. What in the name of grab me? Take my essence! 1,000 salt